rather not hurt you. No! Wait!
So recently I mentioned in my Vampire Monsters video that I might do a video on the Unseen Elder. And let's just say this is probably, I don't know, but it's probably the most requested video I've had since that video. So today I decided for my character video that this would be a perfect character to cover. So today's video is going to be on the Unseen Elder, or more specifically the Unseen Elder of Tucson. I will actually go over the other Unseen Elders because as some of you might not know, there is multiple Unseen Elders. Yeah, I'll go into that later in the video. But the thing is that I'm going to go into the one in Tucson because we don't actually meet the other Unseen Elders and we have very little information about them, except from the fact that they're older vampires. So to begin with, Unseen Elders are basically very, very old higher vampires. They're the oldest of the higher vampires. So I suppose you could describe Unseen Elders as the leaders to their brethren. So how the vampire hierarchy works is that the older you are, / the more powerful you are, the more respect you gain. So vampires works in an age-based system, kind of how our society works. So as we see in The Witcher 3, the Unseen Elder is an incredibly powerful individual. He actually has the power to freeze Regis upon only saying the word Zatlath. When he says it, you see Regis freezes, and we don't know how long Regis was frozen for because Geralt explored that cave, etc. throughout the entire time he was frozen, but it's clear that he has immense power over other vampires and obviously over people as well because he can just rip them apart. So one thing about the Unseen Elder is that he does actually have a name. We know that vampires all have names, for example Regis Detlaff, but we don't know what the Unseen Elder's name is. We can imagine his name is probably in the vampiric language, which you hear here and there, but it's never actually revealed, so we just use the term Unseen Elder to describe the Tucson Unseen Elder specifically. So one question a lot of you might have is that if this vampire is so powerful and can do so much, why is he just sat in a cave? You know, why is he sat there when you go there in The Witcher 3, and why has he sealed himself off from the world? And the reason he's doing this is that he is guarding the gateway in which vampires first arrived in the world. So this gateway is sealed, of course. You can't go back and forth between each world as you please, but as you see in the cave, a bit of the vampiric world has leaked in and the gravity's a bit messed up. So allow me to read this quote for you guys. This is something the Unseen Elder said to Geralt when Geralt asked, you know, what is that cave down there? What's happening? So this is a quote directly from the Unseen Elder. There lies the gate between this world and ours. It is closed, but it shall open once more in 100 of your years. 203 soon. So that's something the Unseen Elder says, and a lot of people assume instantly, oh my god, the vampire gate is going to open again. They're going to invade the world and that's going to be it. That's not entirely the case. So a bit of background information which is actually relevant to this video because it caused the Unseen Elder to turn out the way he is. Quite gruff, I suppose you could say. So when the conjunction of spheres happened, vampires considered this a cataclysm. So what happened is that when the humans came to the new world through the conjunction of spheres, thousands came in at once. They colonized and they were able to create a world that they controlled. But when vampires came through, there weren't many of them. I don't know the specific number, but there were not many of them. So they came through in Tucson, they split apart, they went around the world. I've gone over this in my vampire video, but the Unseen Elder, he remained. Because as Regis says, vampires had two options. They could either learn to live with the other creatures in the world and try and act normal and cohabitate the world, or, like the Unseen Elder, they could shut themselves off and remain hidden until hopefully the portal would open again and they can return home. In fact, Regis uses a very, very clever way to describe this. So this is how it is for vampires, like the Unseen Elder, like for Regis, when they're in this world. Geralt uses the analogy that he goes to a ball and he has to sit down and he has to wear a tight doublet. He might be very uncomfortable, listen to Dandelion sing about him and Yennefer, and Regis describes it as, imagine doing that not for 1 year, not for 100 years, but for a lifetime, for forever. Effectively. And every time you have an itch, if you want to scratch it, people will call you a monster and they'll rip you to pieces. That's how it is for vampires in the world, which is, you know, why the Unseen Elder decides to shut himself off and decide that he just wants to live in peace and stay as close to his home as he can. So one thing that's very interesting is the Unseen Elder clearly has no respect for life other than vampires. Even vampires, you could say it's a bit iffy, but that's just the way in which their society's set up, where he freezes Regis. It's a sort of show of respect, you know, if Regis comes in, he's like, right, frozen, let's find out what's going on. So I was going into this point because, as you can see, he is perfectly willing to kill Geralt. In fact, if you go into that cave without Regis, he kills you. He just kills you, right? Dead. He does it in a second. But what happens is that when Geralt explains that the gate's going to be destroyed, he is actually beginning to help. You know, he's like, okay, I'll help. And that's clearly something he cares about. He cares about the gate. He cares about trying to get home. He does not like this world and he wants to return back to his home. And the reason I can say that the only life that the Elder respects is vampires is because he actually outright refuses to kill Dettlaff. And you can say that's just because of the pressure that, you know, vampires aren't supposed to kill each other, but I think it shows that he has at least some respect for other vampires, even if they're doing terrible things. He just won't kill them. So one thing that you should do is, if you have chance to meet with an audience with the Unseen Elder, you should say the following words in their language: Etzelthi Lautni Amma, and then you present them with the gift you have, which is what Geralt did. He read the entire process of what the knight was supposed to do, etc. He found the gift for the Unseen Elder, and then, you know, he was allowed to talk. So one thing I'll say is that specifically with the Unseen Elder of Toussaint, you do not waste your words. And what I mean by this is, if you say the wrong thing, you trip up, you say unnecessary things, he will kill you. Straight out kill you. So you want to be very forward. If he says don't do something, don't do it, and that's just something that you should always follow when you see the Unseen Elder in The Witcher. So a power that the Unseen Elder has that other vampires don't seem to have is the ability to summon vampires. And what I mean by this is that when Geralt and Regis go and see the Unseen Elder, their basic goal is to get him to summon Dettlaff for them to fight him and get him to stop. And the Unseen Elder agrees, and then he just says, when I sense you're there, Regis, I will summon him, which shows that he has the ability to basically almost track vampires, or have a sense of where they are in the world, which is quite scary if that was a real thing, say, in our world, but it's certainly an interesting thing that the Unseen Elder can accomplish. So one thing I touched on briefly at the start of this video was that there are actually multiple Unseen Elders, but we only ever meet the Unseen Elder in Toussaint. So Regis actually describes the Unseen Elders in a very slight way. All Unseen Elders have different personalities. They'll probably all look relatively different too, just as Regis and Dettlaff look like different people, but they'll obviously share certain characteristics being of the same race. So Regis says that some are vain, some are commanding, but the Unseen Elder in Toussaint is actually very different to the other Unseen Elders. And what Regis says about this is that it's as if when he interacts with others, it causes him physical pain. And this is possibly because the conjunction of spheres was a cataclysm and it could have harmed him in some way, and it could have made it that talking with other beings is just too much effort for him, if you know what I mean. So some of you might have heard what I said earlier about the Unseen Elder and how he stays at the gate because he wants to get home. So allow me to read a quote from Regis on what he believes is the true reason why he remains at the gate. To stay with the gate is an analogy. No door is ever completely impermeable. Smells come through, for instance, and when the wind rises, some dust might be blown through the cracks, a palpable trace of things on the other side. So what that means is the Unseen Elder might be incorrect about there being another conjunction of spheres and vampires being able to get home, or possibly more vampires coming in. However, he could also be correct. Regis could be wrong. But the reason Regis thinks that he stays at that gate and never leaves is because he longs for home. He doesn't like the world that he lives in. He wants to return home, just as I imagine many of you might feel, say if you go on holiday for extended periods of time, or leave home for extended periods of time. You might feel like, I just want to get back home. I want to get somewhere that I would describe as safe compared to, say, somewhere else in the world. And he wants to go home. So staying there is like sitting on the outside of your house. You get to smell smells coming from your house, you get to see things, etc. Just every so often, very lightly when the wind picks up, say. So that's why the Unseen Elder sits in that cave. So, for the final slight part of this video, I want to go over how powerful this character actually is. And when I say this character, I specifically mean the Unseen Elder of Toussaint. I suppose you could say the other Unseen Elders probably have the same amount of power, if not more. So, anyway, let me say. So this character is probably the second most powerful character, at least in my eyes, compared to, say, someone like Gaunter O'Dim. I think he's definitely more powerful than, say, a character like Vilgefortz in the books, who is an incredibly powerful mage, but the Unseen Elder could kill him like that. Because as we know, Geralt manages to, spoiler alert for the books, kill Vilgefortz. And this is what I want to say. The Unseen Elder is very fast and powerful. He's not only got superhuman strength as a vampire, but he is faster than any vampire that I've seen. Faster than Dettlaff, faster than Regis. I mean, even the famous White Wolf is defeated in a single strike. I mean, a single strike, guys. Geralt has killed Vilgefortz, he's killed dragons, he's killed many unbelievably powerful creatures in The Witcher. Eredin, Caranthea, many creatures, many monsters, many people. But with this particular creature, he gets killed in one strike. Just one. And you might be thinking, wait, no he doesn't, he gets knocked down into the cave. Well, there's actually something you can do, is if you go there after, and you don't go with a higher vampire, and you walk into the cave, you see the Unseen Elder slightly, and then he kills you, and that's it. I'll probably put a clip on screen just to show you what that was.
You waste my time. No, no, wait!
But anyway, I hope you enjoyed today's video on the character of the Unseen Elder. He is definitely one of my favourite characters in The Witcher, not just because he's powerful, but because of how mysterious he is. We still don't know his name, we still don't know any of his history, we still don't know anything like that, but for now we can just assume he is effectively a guardian and a leader to the vampires. So just before I end today's video, I just want to announce that I'm going to be streaming on Twitch quite a lot. When I hit 100 followers, I'm going to try and stream as much as I can. I've got Assassin's Creed Origins, I want to play the new DLC for that, which I haven't actually played yet in my spare time, and I've actually managed to fix the stream so I'll be able to stream that for you guys, so be sure to follow there if you want to see that. I also want to say, if anybody wants to join the Discord, we have a bunch of like-minded people who love The Witcher. You can post, I actually opened a new little meme chat thing, which I'm not a big meme guy, but someone requested I open it so you can put stuff there. You can also chat to people about The Witcher, put screenshots of your builds in it and stuff, and people will talk to you about it, so feel free to join if you want to do that, and get the instant rank of Witcher. And as always, thank you to all the Patreon pledges. Seriously, you guys are amazing. Seriously amazing. If you want to become a Patreon pledger like these awesome people, donate down the description. You get the rank on Discord of Grandmaster, you get a cool sort of yellow tag, you get access to the special chats for Grandmasters, and you get your name at the end of every single video I do. Also, I've said this in I haven't said this in a few videos actually, but I have actually opened up a straw poll recently, which is where you're going to get to be able to decide the name that you want me to call you guys. After this video, I will permanently call whoever the winner is of that. I currently have about 40 votes or something in it, so be sure to pick which one you want. Anyway, I'll see you all later. Hope you enjoyed today's video, guys. Goodbye, guys.